Alright, well, this is a little bit odd. So, I want to note that this is basically a 14-day roguelike I might be playing here, but it's not one that was basically part of the Roguetemple's Fortnight jam. No, it's not. You can tell from over here. So, primary example 8382 says, I didn't actually get to submit my roguelike to the Fortnite jam, since with a stroke of bad luck, I decided to start making a 14-day roguelike around a week and a half before the Roguetemple jam. I had no idea a 14-day jam would happen right after I decided to do the 14-day RL as a personal project. I'm currently working on some final bug patches for the post-jam version before I submit it to a Feedback Friday, but if you want to test it in its current state, or how it was by the end of my own little jam, then I highly appreciate any feedback you have, since this is my first roguelike. P.S. The current post-jam version on the itch page fixes a rare crash you may or may not encounter in the 14-day version. So, this was basically in the Reddit thread I basically made. After 2 days, no one posted, but then this guy popped in with Pocket Dimension. So, by a deep dark dweller here, and just by him, I suppose I should see if this guy's basically, a 70-year-old. Well, he says it's his first game, so I'm going to assume it's nothing else. Yeah, he's got nothing else, but whatever. Pocket Dimension, a bite-sized, classic-style micro-roguelike you can play during a coffee break, or the various unskippable side quests of our present age. Made in my spare time over 2 weeks as a personal challenge. Classic roguelike experience. Play in a terminal application of your choice, or a fancy window mode with full screen support. Classic ASCII graphics with drag and drop support for user-created texture packs. Combat system with attacks, defenses, and retaliation moves. A good balance of simplicity and strategy. Tiny levels that take only a few seconds to complete, but keep you playing for as long as you want. Item-based progression. Keep everything you find without any inventory management hassle. Attacking monsters, using items, and mining gold are all performed automatically for the context by simply walking into a tile. Verbose logging system, so you can feel like you're part of the action and always know what's going on. Potions and status effects. Go mining for gold and hunt for treasure. Unique creatures that infest the caverns. Combine items at the smithy, catch twists in a bottle, and more. So you have controls. Arrow keys are WASD to move, so it's a cardinal direction movement. Numpad for moving with diagonal movement, so we do have numpad movement, or QEZC. Alright, so, I'm just going to say this automatically, but again, not a fan of the fact to basically have WASD for movement, and you got a down setup, so you're basically using well, essentially using not the X key is a thing, right? I always suggest if you're going to have an 8 style movement, and you're going to basically put it down in the WASD area, just turn your S into the wait key and turn X into the down key. It just makes much more sense. Assuming you have a wait key. L to switch the layout of the UI, terminal mode only for now. Escape to quit the menu. Escape when at menu to quit the application. Please join my Discord if you'd like to follow development. Now I said it's got excuse me, a jam version and a non-jam version. The jam version is basically a little bit bigger for some reason, and then you got the post-jam version, which is a little bit smaller. But for most part, I'll play the post-jam version, and I'll play the jam version, and play the post-jam if necessary. But we'll see. It doesn't sound like you did that much change between the two, so who really knows? Yeah, so let's see here. Post-jam, and then regular jam. Let's just go here first. If we find the crash, then we find it. Apparently, it's got some credits here, by the way, so, key art, music, libs used, most everything else, me. Oh, he's got a readme. Ooh, readmes. I like readmes. Oh. Thank you for downloading this relatively teeny game I made in roughly 2 weeks. You will almost certainly find bugs and unfinished things, but please don't hesitate to leave comments, feedback, or contact me at deepdarkdweller@gmail.com to send crash reports and bug fix requests or whatever else. Thanks again, and I hope you can get some enjoyment out of all of this. Deep Dark Dweller. Launch parameters. This is how to launch the game in terminal mode. Run the game in command prompt or other OS operating system terminal. Pocketdimension.exe -terminal. This is how to launch the game in window mode instead of full screen. Pocketdimension.exe -windowed. Alright, let's see here. So you got like, the exe right here. Now apparently, like, this arena's comments here, there's apparently some issue where like it'll basically detect this as like, a virus with Windows Defender. It should be fixed by the way, but worth knowing that like this is an issue that like, happened to him, I guess. Pocket Dimension, who dares to summon me? Press enter to battle the truth. Alright, so Swarmer's Chitter with malevolent intent. Welcome to Pocket Dimension. We're 1 level, 15 of 8, 15 HP, status normal, items nothing, gold 0. You pick up a gold nugget, so we got 1 gold. Okay. You killed the Swarmer. Use kick. So you got punching, you got kicks. This guy actually like bit me apparently, so I lost an HP, you're injured. But I killed it. Oh, okay, so you don't pick up items, I guess. You quaff a regeneration potion, so you heal up a little bit, you feel regenerative energy. I recover from my injuries apparently. I missed the crawler. Oh, by the way, apparently 5 weights for you, so there's a weight button. You damaged the crawler. It got injured. I got poisoned though, and I feel sick. It jumps away. It's running! You bleed. Apparently I'm bleeding. Alright, we killed it. But what cost? We're almost dead. Just to throw out there, by the way, the sound is very, very loud. So we got 1 HP and we're on level 2. That's a strength potion, not really useful to me, but whatever. I opened a treasure chest. Cool. There's a pickaxe. You mine ore and gain 4 gold. Cool. I wonder if pickaxe doesn't break. You can't pick up a second one apparently, that's worth knowing. You have fallen. You damaged it, but I got injured. So, I guess we can basically attack crawlers, so you can basically have like, retaliation damage for it. Yes, let's watch out for that. Alright, let's get going. The music is dead, but I'm not actually like, too bummed about that actually, so it's fine. I mean, if the crawler's not going to hurt me, and I'm, just better off leaving it be. You absorb the power of the heart gem, increasing your vitality by max HP, so those are heart gems. Quaff a healing potion, quaff a regeneration potion. I'll note because like they're just like expedition parks. I guess they're like always gonna be buff buffs for you, but they make me more if I should really like care about them. All right, we want to go. Alright, we killed the Swarmer. So you can go through walls, just have to be like, meticulous about it. Okay, we killed the crawler. So we're healing potions and recover 9 HP. That's nice. I got frozen solid. So you call a freezing potion and feel ice spread through your veins. You're frozen solid. See, I apparently got negative potions too. And so here's the thing. I think the idea of like having potions is cool, but you don't have to like identify them, like just have like this like walk on them. But I sort of feel that basically it should all be positive if that's the case, just to sort of encourage you to actually like maybe check them out. Because unless necessary, it's gonna be like, you know, worth just avoiding them. Because, you know, why would I risk like, you know, a chance at something if I don't need to? You pick up a claymore, your combat options improve. Oops. Oops. So I got 2 HP damage. I wonder, like, you know, tripping on walls is a percent chance of it basically breaking or not. So it's like not a guarantee or anything. I kind of feel, by the way, that like if you're gonna have like, you know, pickaxes, maybe there should actually like be a penalty. So maybe like walls can collapse on you and stuff like that as an idea. Cool. Got through. And you got poison potions, because why not? Healing potion, curing potion, and recovering HP. Cool. There's regeneration potion. What's the point of like hacking at the corpse, by the way, if anything? I mean, why not? Let's go to a fast way, because why not? Is that a kobold? The Cryptivore stalks the crawler. It uses maul. It kills with 6 HP damage. Kill the crawler. It begins devouring the crawler's corpse. It prepares to devour the fallen crawler. Oh, so this guy's really strong. It spots at you and squeaks menacingly. Let's see if we can lure to up this guy. So apparently it's not interested in attacking itself once it basically sees, like, you know, you, I guess. You said the appraisal scroll. Potion types are now revealed. That's confusion apparently. Blue is. It jumps away. I'm injured, by the way. I have fallen. Alright, so, yeah, I think, like, you know, there could be some ideas, like, you know, to, like, you know, make potions, like, you know, better, but whatever. There's a healing potion. We're just frozen solid again. You put a ring of mending, your wounds will slowly mend over time. Cool. There's the pickaxe. I will say that I got, like, you know, the music is very cool. Like, you have it, but I wish there was like ability to like toggle, like, you know, how loud it basically is. I'll also say there's a bit of an issue with this game in that, like, you know, the levels seem like, you know, a little bit too similar to each other. Like, I get to, like, the pickaxe level 2, the claymore level's 3. I kind of expect roguelikes to be a little bit more like, you know, less like, you know, how can I put this? It's a little bit too predictable, like, you know, when basically stuff's going to happen. Like, getting a ring of mending was nice, but whatever. I found a dagger. You pick up a dagger, you now perform more combo attacks. What are those going to do, I wonder? There's a ring of bravery. I have more damage, apparently. The wisp bottle. You found an empty wisp bottle. Use it to capture wisps, apparently. There's gold. I've been using numpad, by the way, this entire time. Let's start using, like, the WASD keys a little bit. The mimic, we got a mimic here. So, we got mimics in this game. It bites me. It's now injured, apparently. It's worse. It's down. Okay, we got ourselves a Merkweaver, a Dust Mutter, and a Cryptovok. Whistle of flame dances in the darkness. A great venomous wasp drones ominously in the distance. Ooh. It's going to kill the Merkweaver there, apparently. So we got some strength from that. The room playing Seer to Cryptovok. The wisp ball here again. Alright, so this thing is apparently like, you know, a spider type of character. It's got webbing. I got injured apparently. Okay, we killed it. I don't want to leave the corpses because it could be eaten by the other guy, so avoid that. Okay, now I know what the like potions basically do. So this guy isn't like that interested in me. That's good to know. Oh, this guy died to flames. Very nice. He right away, apparently corpse. The Gloomstinger notices you with his great comet eyes amidst a deep droning buzz. Okay, we damaged it with a slash and it jumped away. It's injured, it jumps away. Now it's burning. Critical hit, it dies. I left the corpse there, so whatever. The Everwist notices you and begins to follow. You damage the Dust Mutter. Injured jumps away. Jumps away again. I'm not sure this thing has anything really interesting about it. I caught the Ember Wisp apparently. I'm attempting the fire aspect. Maybe I caused him to burn now. Oh, I'm bleeding apparently. So yeah, much like the other guys, I guess, like, you know, it's not worth it to fight those guys because, you know, it just injures you, or whatever. So yeah, this is like the thing, by the way, like, you have, like, you know, the, like, 8 keys for WASD, but you don't have, like, a wait button over here, so if I want to wait FAC, you have to hit, like, 5, which, you know, is on the other side of, like, you know, the thing next to the numcat keys. This guy's hunting in the shadows. The crystalline spirit drifts through this cold air. You warp to the next pocket. Boreal Rhyme notices Cryptic Arc and begins to follow. You want to go? Okay, damaged it and ran away. So it got frozen. It breaks free from the ice, but it's dead. Okay, we caught the Boreal Rhyme. What's this do? Burning, of course. So brown is strength. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of, like, you know, it's like having to remember what colors basically do. So there's that as well. I'm already burning, so whatever, let's go here. You pick up a Cave Wart, restoring vitality at 1 HP apparently. So those are used to heal. I can't pick them up unless you're damaged. Okay, good to know. Whoa, this guy damaged me for 12 damage there. Alright, well, that's basically enough to sort of, like, show off, like, you know, a bit of, like, you know, the, like, 14-day RL you basically had. And I basically went for, like, you know, 24 minutes there. We'll just briefly go into, like, you know, the other one to see if it, like, matters. This was his update game. Nothing there really a note. Alright, stupid little roguelike I made in Python. To do an idea is make an autoplay mode where the player will automatically move around the map, attempt to collect all items and fight off any attackers in self-defense before moving through the portal. Cave monster grows and spreads over the cave in a similar automatic way. Multiple wall, floor types, register list, puzzle push box, gem portal, secret system. Special rooms, Necromancer Crypt, Prison, Shadow Realm, plus Pursuing Wraith, Cat Cafe, Monster Arena, 2 large monsters fight while Spectres cheer. I want to make a special class of enemies that is somewhat procedurally defined with a range of various colors, names, attack status effects, and HP and base damage amounts. This will be called the Hulk class, but they will have other display names based on their attributes. Additionally, they should have the ability to smash through walls if they want. Maybe if they sense you behind them, they will be the ultimate challenge. I also want to add Necromancer class based on the spawner. The Necromancer should be somewhat fragile, but they should have the ability to teleport, cast water deep if they want, raise corpses into zombies, or spawn skeletons out of thin air. Their presence on a level should prevent natural corpse decay as well. Or, encourage people to actually kill the corpses, so whatever. And Pocket Dimension, let's go. Pocket Dimension, and yet here you are. Intertraverse Oblivion. Alright, Swarmers chitter because they're around. It's dead. Why not? I stepped onto a burning potion because, why not? There's a strength potion and there's a healing potion. Excellent. But yeah, that's the thing, unless there's some purpose to stepping on potions. Until I identify them, there's no reason for them basically to exist. Nope, Mimic. So apparently I'm too weak to basically kill a Mimic by myself. That's worth knowing. Or I just got unlucky. It's very possible I just got unlucky there. Nothing on that level. There might be a pickaxe on the level, but I couldn't reach it, so oh well. There's the sword. Now I have to wonder, by the way, because I skipped the second level and the pickaxe on it, can I no longer get a pickaxe for my runs? Notice one right there. Never mind, we're fine. There we go, pickaxe. I guess I can probably drop some thoughts at this point, by the way. Something that I think is kind of bugging me up this game, so there doesn't seem to be any real goal. It's just just go as far as you want and make your whatever decision you want basically to play. Are you going to try and get the most gold? Are you just going to try to get as far down as many levels as possible? But I don't feel like there's any real reason to basically keep playing in the long run. Ooh, we got a critical hit there. We just lost a lot of XP there. Okay, we killed it. But what price? I don't know. There's a Ring of Bravery. Okay, that one just got a lot stronger. That's getting annoying. I know, by the way, it feels I like the idea of the Cryptobork, but I kind of feel it could be a lot more interesting where maybe you could satisfy him, having kill other stuff, and you basically lose the interest in fighting at all. Yeah, it sort of feels I'm not really against these how these animes are programmed, but maybe there could be some more interesting things of them, maybe the the Cryptobork, where if you you're trying to feed people, eventually you'll not want to basically fight you because it's full, or maybe there could be something that about the wasp, he won't basically hunt you unless you're holding something he basically really wants. My HP is full apparently, that's good to know. So we killed the guy before he did anything. Yes, please stay away from me there, Wisp. I don't like being caught on fire or anything like that, so... I damaged it, but, you know, whatever. I can't capture it. Okay, now I got, like, more Wisp space to deal with. Okay, that guy's frozen. That's interesting. Oh, that guy saw me. Like, that's something else, like, you know, as an idea. Like, it'd be nice if, like, these guys had, like, a little bit more, like, you know, personality, where, like, maybe it could be, like, territorial if, like, you know, you get close, they'll attack you, but if you, like, keep your distance, or, like, you know, you, like, back away when they basically, like, you know, show hostile signs, they'll basically leave you alone. Oh, what's happening here? The Gloomstinger is caught by a sticky webbing. So basically the Mercweaver and the Gloomstinger are basically fighting each other because, you know, Spider versus Wasp, I guess. But just to throw it out there, by the way, there's this game called Overworld on, like, you know, the Play Store, and I guess now on, like, you know, iPad. It had, like, a very interesting idea where enemies would basically be hunting each other, so... that was, like, a thing. By the way, I think if, like, you injure something, it should be, like, you know, maybe, like, less inclined to attack you, like, you know, if, like, you run away from it. Let's do that. Oh, the crawler got found by the Cryptovok again. Caught this one. Crawler down here, but whatever. Oh, the Cryptovok found a dust mutter. And I was going to eat it. You know, that's something I don't know about, like, the Cryptovok. I realize it's basically, like, an enemy that basically, like, you know, basically eats, like, some enemy basically, like, you know, around it and, like, you know, runs away. But I feel it could be, like, more menacing and, like, you know, it could basically keep eating and eating and eating. That's confusion, apparently. Oh, I found a crawler, so that's now dead. You know, I kind of wish, like, you know, potions, like, you know, they had, like, more to them, I guess, but, you know, what I basically, like, you know, wish for, like, the identification games, like, you know, I can, like, more easily identify, like, what basically the good ones or bad ones are, without having to remember the colors and stuff. Oh, what's happening here? You discovered a mysterious spiffy filled with the scent of molten metal. You warp to a new pocket. Shopkeeper, welcome, brave adventurer. I can reforge your equipment for 379 gold. Come see what wonderful things I can forge to you. So that's level 10, by the way. We got the level 10, he basically offers that sort of like reward. It helped position because it's frozen. Can we hack this guy deaf? That's fine. This guy's frozen solid, but he's able to attack me apparently. I kind of feel like, you know, it could be like, you know, describe as what, like, you know, frozen basically does. Does it basically just freeze you in place, or it's like, you know, prevent you from doing stuff, I guess, like a stun stat sort of effect. There's a strength potion. Oh, with strength I basically just tumble wherever I want to, I guess. That's cool. I don't know why that guy started burning, but okay, that happened. I don't know if this music very much reminds me of like Diablo for some reason. I don't know why, but it does. That potion is burning, by the way, so I'll avoid it. Is he burning now for some reason? Die, you bastard. Ow. Let's see here. A little bit of mining here and there. Boom! Got some gold. Oh, this guy confuses me. Oh, I might be very dead here. I'm not confused, but you know, that's not saying much. That guy burned to death, apparently. That guy jumped away, but I'm bleeding. So I thought this guy would be like more venomous, like, you know, actually poison you, but no, he's just like, you know, confuse you apparently. And yes, I'm healing up to heal. Jumps away. Killed. Hacked and deaf. So, Milkroot damages the Gloom Stinger. And it succumbs to poison apparently, so that's going to get stronger. Now the Cryptovoc is basically hitting the Mercweaver. It jumps away. By the way, it feels like, you know, some of these guys should actually fight each other. Like, you know, if a Mercweaver is being attacked by like a Cryptovoc, it actually should be like, you know, take advantage of the situations or like, you know, attack it. We killed him. Goodbye. Cool. Kill those like spiders easily enough. So apparently this guy can cause me to bleed when I attack it, maybe? Somehow. Or maybe it is like, you know, attacking me back basically, so... whatever. And yeah, I think you need that pursuing Wraith, by the way, to sort of like, you know, keep people from like this sort of doing what I'm doing right here, where like, you know, sort of like taking our time, not doing anything. Huh, is there an swarmer? Can't really tell. He damaged the nest. The nest is injured to help vision, and now it's dead. I'm bleeding. Carl's getting frozen here a little bit, however. There goes the spider. We're gonna get up to level 20 this time, I think, and then we'll just, like, you know, call it quits there, so... let's do that. Oh, I got webbed. But strength didn't last all the time there. Whatever, I got through there a little bit. Oh, mimics. It's frozen solid. Oh! I just realized the swarm was coming from that nest there. So nests are basically spawners. Another mimic. Okay, this guy can poison me, which is, you know, dangerous. Am I dead? Yep, you can die from poison apparently, so that's good to know. Well, that's basically good enough to sort of like, you know, show off the game a little bit. That's Pocket Dimension, so... this isn't exactly like, you know, part of like the, like, you know, Roguetemple Fortnight, but like, you know, I'll give you some like, you know, the scoring anyways, this reason, you know, because why not? it kept my interest for 45 minutes well enough, so that's fine. So we're just going to add this basically down here is like, you know, pocket dimension RL. I actually want to go over here actually, so Well, let's add this for, you know, it's here. Deep Dark Dweller. And insert a link to this page. Boom, done. All right, so there's like your game right here. Here's the reviews basically for it. We're just gonna throw this down here for now. So completeness wise, there might have been a bug basically like, you know, with like the crashing, but I never actually experienced it. So there wasn't like, you know, whoops, no bugs occurred and experience was stable. What do I want to say? Like, it feels like the potions basically were like, you know, pretty straightforward, but that's just what I want to say here. Like, for Cinderella, this is probably actually get like a 4. And that says something because I've only got like one 4 basically up here, or a few 4s, but you know, you probably would have gotten a 4 for like, you know, completeness from me if like, you know, this is basically part of like the game jam for Fortnite. Aesthetic wise, I mean, the only thing I really hate here is like, you know, wish that the S key was swapped with the X key and the S key was a wait key. I think that basically like, you know, that's just worth doing because it's just like a preference. Like, you know, if you have like, you know, diagonal movement basically on like your thing, just mirror it. You know, it pretty much sums it up. Like, you know, I wouldn't like, I would knock you down the point basically for like, you know, the keys and like, you know, I was kind of annoyed with like the potions, but you know, I wouldn't knock you down too many points for it. I did have fun with this. So comparing, you know, like the fact I didn't have like, you know, fun with like a lot of these games here, so. So I'll note that's like, you know, my sort of like takeaway for you right here. This is actually a very enjoyable game. I think like the biggest like issue basically has the fact like, you know, like I was interested in like playing it, but you know, is there basically enough for sort of like keep me like, you know, like, you know, coming back basically to play is the thing, right? Like you've got a hook. But yeah, it feels like, you know, it's got some interesting ideas there of like, you know, enemies attacking each other. But I kind of feel like, it has to be like a little more thematic. Like maybe like, enemies that basically are like being attacked like a web slinger. It might cause like the like, cryptobark basically to like, be webbed. And then like, it basically will try and run away from it or something. Or, maybe it'll try and like poison it, or maybe stuff can gang up on cryptobarks, so basically under attack. Like, it wasn't very like, like it's basically interesting, but not very interesting as a thing. So you have something there. The other thing was like the potions, by the way. The potions were like, a very interesting idea, I guess, where you like pick them up and like, all this stuff. But I kind of feel like, for the identification game, like, I don't mind the fact that you can basically like, get something that basically identifies something, like, you don't have to worry about them past that point. But until like they're like, find that thing to basically get them, it's not really worth picking them up, because there's like bad potions and good potions. It'd probably be an idea like you could probably have like, here's an idea. Basically like you could take like a cue from like Golden Crone Hotel. Have potions that could be like, blue, and like, they disappear like as a blue exclamation mark. And you can basically like, refer to something that says like blue basically is like, either healing, confusion, or you get lit on fire basically. So they basically get healed, that's like, risk basically getting like, lit on fire or getting confused. So you have basically like, weighed up with like, where it's perfect to take care or stuff like that. And, it could be like an interesting way of like basically doing it that way. Like, like basically like, you're able to like identify like, what the type to basically fall under. And it could like randomize like the colors a little bit. So like, healing might be blue one game, or like green the next game, whatever. But, it wasn't enough basically to like, detriment for the entire game. So, there's that too. Innovative. Compared to a lot of the games here I've basically like been covering, this does feel fairly innovative. Like, the gameplay is like, very, very fresh. I mean, I'll give you a solid 4 basically here, because you actually had a very innovative game here. For the most part, I actually felt like, playing like this game, like I like the idea of like, enemy species sort of like fighting each other. That actually makes it sort of like, the dungeon feel alive. I didn't really think much of potions, but I mean, the idea of like just like walking on to get benefits is like, cool enough. And like it also makes everything fairly simple. Like, keep it like simple, just try like, make it so like, maybe like, enemies that are like defending will actually like, actually like defend themselves as opposed to say killed. Maybe like you could like, distract like, the cryptovark by like walking next to something that's like easier prey, so he has losing interest in that and like, switch it to that. Maybe you could like tame like a cryptovark and like, just feed it people, whatever. Scope. This is typically what I expect from a 70-rel. I mean, you demonstrated your idea. And yeah, you get the 4. Like, a lot of these games basically, like, a couple of them basically have 4s, but you're getting a solid 4 because this is actually what I expect from a 7-reel, so good job on that. And then is a roguelike, yes. It might be minimal, but it is a roguelike through and through. So, boom. And then main text review. So yeah, potions I'd like to see like, you know, reworked. I'd have to basically research the name, but so yeah, or like, you know, something maybe improve like, you know, your enemies a little bit, interactions a little bit, but you know, it's not like bad where it basically is right now. Maybe improve the potion game a little bit. What else do I want to basically say like you should improve? I mean, the keys is just like, you know, some people might have a preference for that, by the way, so I'm not going to like dock you too much for it. I just don't really like it myself because, I mean, you basically have like a diagonal like moving relic anyway, so if that's the case, then you really should basically have like that basically be a thing. I think it might, you know, just because you have the wait key, and like you have to basically like go over to 5 key anyways to hit the wait, so why not do like, you know, S key is wait key anyways. That's something else I've note, by the way. You didn't have a message log, and well, you did have a message log. You know, lack of inscriptions. Like that's basically the thing. Like, you know, I really like to basically have information at my like, you know, fingertips, so to speak. Like, you know, what do I have to worry about like about a cryptophore? Because it's basically going to like, you know, try and devour me. It's just like a natural pair of like everything that basically is in a dungeon. That's just me perhaps, but you know, it's a thing. You could ignore that if you want to. Depends like how you want to take your game. There's not a whole lot basically to say here, like, you know. Art app basically is like keep on building, building the gameplay for the most part. Alright, so so if there's basically your like, you know, game reviewed, you have got like a 3.8, so you actually have like the highest score of like, you know, all the 14-day arrows have been reviewed, you know, recently, so good on you for that. You almost got like up to the perfect 4. And I'll note by the way, a 4 would basically be like the equivalent of like getting like, you know, a perfect score on like a Sunday Rail, so that'd be like a, you know, the free and like the Sunday Rail rankings. You lost points basically for like, you know, aesthetics there a little bit. And that's basically where like you brought down just because like, you know, of the keys and like, you know, their stuff, but everything else basically solid 4, so good job pretty much. All I can really say. Alright, I hope you basically enjoyed like the quick little run through your game. Have a great day. All I can say.